Hey everyone, so today I'm going to do a video basically talking to those individuals who have just got into contracting or have been in it for a while and to just like, oh, do you know what? I can't do this. I can't do this. This is long, searching for a new contract and, trying to get ends meet, and it's like, oh, it's not really living up to expectations, etc., etc. I want to tell you, do not give up. You can't give up. And you need to think about the habits and the activities and tasks that you're doing that may not be contributing to the things that you want from the contracting space. Now, you may be doing everything right, but I have no idea if you are. So I want to lend some ideas around how you can sort of think about this stuff differently. Now, think back to where you were before. Many of you were either in a situation where you were made redundant from the organization that said that you will never be made redundant, or you decided to get into the space yourself. It doesn't matter where you are, whether you own your own business, whether you work for a business, or whether you're contracting, nothing is permanent. Nothing. And many of us complain, at least 75+% of us complain globally about the conditions within a 9-to-5 permanent role. I will never bash 9-to-5 roles because it gave me the level up that I needed to be in a position that I'm in right now within the contracting space. It is a good thing. However, there are people who move on. And for many of you within a contracting space, you guys have mentally checked out and moved on, either by force or by fire. So you need to find a way to make it work. Now, of course, there may be situations where maybe age is catching up with you. I understand. It's a different situation. Or maybe you're in a space where you've got new family members who are on board, like a new child or whatever it may be. Or you've gone through some grief. I can understand that and I can excuse that because emotionally and mentally, that is very challenging. For those people who are just going through everyday acts of living and suffering like everyone else, I want you to be motivated and find ways to overcome this challenge. And so here are some things to think about. In a current space that you are, have you asked for an extension? That's the first thing. Have you asked for an extension? Is there a possible way in which you can get an extension in terms of what you're currently doing? Sometimes we're in places where we create our own end and we act like it's done. No. This is what I've repeatedly done myself. I've gone to a hiring manager and basically said, is there any possibility of an extension, or will you be extending me? And I would give reasons as to why they should extend me based on the project need not being completed or further support or leadership that's required to ensure the delivery of X results or whatever it may be. I always give a compelling reason. So think about it. Have you given up too early? The second thing which is related to an extension is, have you asked anyone else within that organization or neighboring organizations whether they require a contractor to deliver on X services aligned to the type of skills and services that you deliver? Think about it. There is plenty of opportunity. I've worked pretty much within the government sector when it comes to contracting. That's pretty much my domain and space. And this has been a golden opportunity for me to either get an extension and or ask other sort of organizations or teams or departments if they need contractors. And there's nothing wrong with this. You're not doing anything wrong. You're being legitimate. You're being honest. You have to be honest with this stuff. You have to be clear and say, hey, I would love to continue working within this organization. I believe I can provide value within this project by doing X, Y, and Z. This is what I've done before. But again, if there isn't any space, I'm happy to move on or whatever it may be. Don't act like you're desperate. Just basically show that you're willing to help, because 9 times out of 10, they're wondering whether you're happy to continue. And in your mind, you're like, of course I am. I need to get paid. I enjoy what I'm doing, etc., etc. So it is what it is. The third thing is, are you following up with people who have contacted you over the weeks and months? You know who I'm talking about. You know those different recruiters that have inboxed you with ridiculous rates or pretty good rates, but you're like, I'm nice at the moment. I've got a good contract, so there's no need for me to contact them. Go through your whole inbox and call every single one or message every single person and see if there's anything available. Now, many of them may not have something, okay? There may be a small populace that does, but at least they have you in mind in the near future. So think about all of that stuff. Are there people you can contact? The fourth thing is thinking about, is there anyone within your network you could talk to? People who are already in contracting roles. Is there anything in the market that they're sensing? Is there anything within their contracts that they're picking up? Think about all of this stuff and speak to them and try to get an in-depth view. Contractors usually like to help other contractors, okay? That's essentially how the game works. So think about those individuals there. The fifth thing is to talk about people you've previously worked with, okay? Either in the organization you're currently working with right now and or other organizations you worked with before. So speak to those different people and again, do the same thing. Try to understand if there are any opportunities. I would also sort of say that you need to be able to make sure that applications is a numbers game. Quality is involved when it comes to your CV. So making sure you have a good CV, using services like ChatGPT or Purple CV or other sort of like CV services that can help boost the opportunities. You may also want to speak to your agents as well. They may have opportunities for you, but apply for different roles. Apply for as many roles as possible. And it just needs to be a thing that you do every day, or every 2 days, or whatever it may be. Just understand what the market looks like. You need to look at the whole market first, understand what sort of things are available. Think about what works for your generalist role and what works for your specialist role. Your generalist role is something broad like a business analyst or project manager or program manager or a coder or whatever it may be. Something more niche may be a health transformation digital project manager or something around that, okay, as an example. So you need to understand the market, speak to different agents, people to understand the market. You need to go in. You have to, because if you don't want to go back to that permanent lifestyle, then don't do it. I've seen contractors who move into some sort of fixed job or a permanent 9 to 5, and they don't see the point. They're kind of like, oh, why did I do this? I understand because they needed to make money, don't get me wrong, and they felt like their options were not there. But it's a question of whether they've exhausted every single option. So this is an opportunity to remind you to exhaust every single option and more and do more. There may have been things that I have not even thought about, but it really comes down to people. Open your mouth, speak to people, and opportunities will definitely come. If you're not that type of person, either become that type of person or do it the traditional way where you're applying for different roles and all of that kind of stuff there. Hopefully this has given you some insight and some inspiration and a kick up the bum to really sort of drive the momentum so that you don't go back to a space that, again, drove you into this space in the first place. If you want to check out more videos like this centered around portfolio management or life management, then make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And as always, my friends, understand, reach, and expand. Peace.